When I started watching videos on my debt-free journey, all I saw was people with clickbaity titles, living in their parents' basements, saving up money, not having to pay any expenses, and then voila, they paid off $30,000 in 2 months. Like, for me, that's not realistic. If you have help, like, by all means, but this is not that kind of video. No shade, no tea. I'm just showing y'all how I did it on a low income and living on my own.
All I need is one day, one time. All I need is one take, one line, and I'm gonna make you fall in love with me. And I'm gonna make you fall in love with me.
Hey girlfriend, welcome to Deja's Diary. If you are new here, I am Deja Denise. If you're not new and you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that so that you can become one of my girlfriends. So as you can see by today's title, I am talking to you all about how I paid off over $10,000 worth of credit card debt. Now this can be used for a student loan payment, a car payment, whatever you need to pay off. These methods and tips and tricks can help you along the way. I'm also going to show you how I made my budget planner and like my goals planner. Y'all not about to be Simone me, so all of the Pinterest links will be down below. Really quickly, before we get into the in-depth budget talk, the most important tip to me personally is to reward myself. Even if I pay $20 off, $200 off, or $2,000 off, I'm rewarding myself. I don't care what it is. That could be going out to eat, that could be taking a trip, or it can even be splurging on something that I wouldn't normally buy for myself. Just like I did recently, bringing another card to a zero balance. I got these really beautiful pieces from Ana Luisa Jewelry. They reached out to collaborate with me on this video, and I absolutely love this brand. You get quality jewelry with a luxury feel for a non-luxury price, and you can't beat that. I'm not the one to like spend money on a whole bunch of luxury things or expensive things, especially when I don't have to, and especially when I'm paying off some debt. These pieces are also tarnish free and long lasting, and I know when you think affordable, you think cheap, but this is definitely not the case. So I am not a gold wearer, but I chose to go gold for this video. So I got this beautiful ring. I also got these very dainty earrings. I used to be like a big hoop girl, so I wanted to switch it up, but the most important piece to me, is this lock-in key necklace. As you all know, my channel name is Deja's Diary. It's my name on Instagram as well. I put the lock and key emoji on every single Instagram caption. With you being my girlfriend, I feel like your secrets are always safe with me, and I feel like my secrets are safe with you. So that's why this necklace is so special to me. I'll have all of these pieces linked down below with a discount code as well. So let's get right into the video. So the two main types of credit are revolving credit and installment credit. Examples of installment credit would be like a car loan, student loans, a mortgage, things like that, where revolving credit can be a credit card loan. The major difference is once an installment loan is paid off, the account is closed, where revolving credit, the account stays open and you can go back and borrow from it whenever you need to. I wanted to just be very clear that credit in the United States of America is a scam. It just is. Like, I know that sounds kind of harsh, but it really, really is. Like, when you go to get a car or a house, they want to see your debt to income ratio, and it's honestly to see how financially responsible you are, if we're being really, really honest. I found out really quickly that when I was paying off huge lump sums at one time, my credit score dropped. Like, it dropped hard, and I'm like, why am I breaking my neck to pay off a card when it's only going to damage my credit score? And again, these places that you're about to finance with want to see that you are financially responsible. So instead of paying the whole large lump sum off at one time, break it off into smaller payments. That way they can see that you have some line of credit and that you're responsible with paying it off on time. For me, I'm keeping about 10 to 15% of the payment amount still in my account before I pay it all the way off, right? So I will also pay my payments early. So if it's due on the 25th, I'm paying it on the 15th so that interest doesn't hit it super, super hard. Or in my case, not at all. I honestly pay my stuff before interest even hits. So these tips and tricks are in no particular order. First things first is to have a timeline. So for me, I knew that I wanted to pay $5,000 off within 2 to 3 months. I would then break it up check by check to see how much money I needed to allocate towards those loans to then pay it off in a timely manner. If I knew that I had to pay like $800 each check, that wasn't happening, because for me, I'm not going to jeopardize my way of living to pay off debt, if that makes sense. Like, I am to some sort, but I'm not about to like sit up here and eat ramen every single night when I really don't have to. And I know for some of you watchers, you follow like the Dave Ramsey plan. I started off with that plan and I modified it to pay off these loans. I'll also explain how I break it down check by check when I show you all my budget planner. And speaking of my budget planner, I can't stress this enough, but write it down. I know it's so easy in this digital age to like put everything on a computer or on your phone and like put reminders for a bill. Yes, do that, but also write your goals down. Write your plans down, because when you put it on paper, you can physically watch things come to fruition for you. And also when it's on paper and you realize, okay, 2 months or 3 months isn't realistic, I might need a year to pay this off. It's okay. Take however long you need, but don't jeopardize your way of life for it, especially if the interest is low or you don't have any interest at all. So when I was paying off these multiple cards and these multiple loans, I had a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. So the 2 part-time jobs rotate, but I had my main job. But with those multiple jobs, every time I got a check, I mean every time I got a check, depending on what loans I had at that moment, I wouldn't just put a huge lump sum onto one card if it didn't make sense. Now, if it made sense to do that, if one card didn't have interest, one card did, or the interest was low on one card, I would definitely throw, like, let's say all $600 onto a card. But if I know that I had bigger amounts several other places, or if it made sense in my head that week, then I would allocate that $600, split it 3 ways, split it 4 ways. I also did this during tax time. Like, I wasn't the type of person that got a whole bunch of money back in taxes, but whatever little bit amount that I did get back went straight to a loan. If it was a birthday and I got money, was going to a loan. Christmas and I got money, was going to a loan. I'm much older now, so the check wasn't hitting like that, but anything that I got was going to a loan. My mom was like, hey boo, like, here you go. It went straight to a loan. I'm also gonna link the credit card payoff calculator down below that I used. When it comes to math, handwriting wasn't ideal for me, but it all made sense once I actually put it on paper. My favorite one is to have an accountability partner. I don't know what I would have done without my accountability partner, but it was a very close friend that I trusted. It was someone that I was willing and open with sharing my income to. The person had worked in the same job as me, so we were kind of getting paid around the same amount of money, and they had more financial backing than I did when it comes to like paying off things and not wanting debt as well. So to this day, to this very day, I don't even have credit card debt anymore, but I still will call them up like, hey, I got this medical bill and now I gotta break it down in payments. What makes sense? Hey, I just bought this camera. Does it make sense to like split this in half or put it all on my card? Like, I still use that accountability partner 2 years later. And with that too, like, you need somebody that's like going to be straight up honest with you. Like, look, you're only bringing home $1,000 this month and your rent is $600. It doesn't make sense to make a granular payment this month. It makes sense to only pay the minimum balance. You'll be fine and catch up in the next 2 months. And with that being said, if you can afford it, pay for it. Do not put it on a card. If it's food, don't put food on a credit card. Unless you absolutely have to. But things that depreciate in value the moment you pay for it, like food or things like that, just don't make sense, especially if you have the funds to pay for it. Or if you don't and you have half of the funds, what I would do is split the payment in half. So for this camera that I'm recording on, I knew that with the lens it was like $700+. So I had the money on my debit card. Would it have made sense to pay this all off? Maybe, right? But I knew that I would probably be getting some 4 for 4s for the next 2 weeks. So what I did was put half on my Best Buy card, put half on my debit card, and then my next check, I just pay the Best Buy card off. All of my stuff is really flowing together, but with paying it off in the next 2 weeks or the next 2 months, plan a month ahead. Every time I like put my budget together, I'm always planning for the month ahead. I'm never planning for 2 weeks in advance. It just doesn't make sense for me. I need to know where my money is going and what it's doing. So when I plan for the month ahead, I'm like, okay, if I have this much money, I break it down to all of my necessities, never mind wants, always my necessities. But for me, let's say a necessity was my nails. Last year, I did not have nails on, right? Last year, I didn't get my hair done every 2 weeks like I did now. I wore weaves and wigs that I could do myself. So I kind of like moved my budget around and still made it to where I still looked nice and I still ate okay, but I had the money to do so. I know that I said with the extra income that I threw it all to a card, but it just depended on the month, honestly. If it wasn't feasible in my head to do so and I really wanted to go out to eat with my friends, I'm doing that. I think not enough people enjoy themselves on their debt-free journey, and that's why they get so frustrated. They feel like they have to like grind to pay off some debt that has installments on it, especially with low interest, and so they miss out on living life. You only get one life, and so for me, I'm not about to sit up here and spend it paying off debt for years. No, especially when I'm on a payment plan. Absolutely not. I took the trips. A big reason why my Discover card had a balance on it was because I went to Cancun for my friend's birthday a couple years ago. I bought my MacBook after graduation. I was going to live my life. I was going to do the things that I wanted to do. And for some people that doesn't work. I'm more disciplined when it comes to like money. I'm very frugal, but I was also going to enjoy myself. I missed a few trips, but I didn't miss them all. Another great tip, once you have already like paid off those big balances, you want to keep something on those cards. You don't want to ever close them off because all of your years of credit history go away. They vanish, and then you have no line of credit and you've worked so hard to pay it off. So on my Best Buy card now, it's all for my dog unless I'm buying like a camera or something. So his pet insurance goes on there, his food goes on there, and I pay it off honestly the next check that I get. If I have like oil changes or something, that goes on my Bank of America credit card. Since my Discover card limit is so big, I save that card for like really big purchases if I don't have the whole thing, or if it's a month or a week that I'm kind of like in between a check, I've paid off something and it's not really working for me, then I use that card to kind of like keep me going, and then I pay it right off. A big thing for me in paying off my credit card debt was I wanted to live on my own. So I knew that I had to live below my means. I chose not to like live in uptown Charlotte in a skyrise. I chose not to live in a $1,000 apartment. I'm living in an area that's beginning to get gentrified. So it's bordering a good neighborhood, bordering a bad neighborhood. It works for me. I have a security alarm. So that's also a revolving credit for me. I put that on a card to make sure that my cards stay active. I just knew that I wanted to live on my own. I wanted to pay these things off on my own. And so I had to live the way I knew how to live, right? So I'm not gonna be on here stunting like, oh, I live uptown, like it's really glamorous, but I'm in a whole bunch of debt. No, like I live below my means for now, until a few weeks, and it worked great for me. I was able to still do the things that I wanted to do and pay off my debt at the same time. So this is my budget and goals planner. This thing got me through. I have like a thing with like colorful pens. So for me, I like to color code things. So colorful pens are in here. Just some like words of affirmation. So people with goals succeed because they know where they're going. I had like financial goals. So when at the time of making this, it says pay off Bank of America credit card. And then it says time frame. So on time frame, it says options. I gave myself options. So option 1 was $200 a month, and then I would pay $100 each check and I'd be done in 6 months, or $150 a month, $75 each check, and so on and so forth. You kind of get the gist. So when you're writing things down, you're able to give yourself options. And then pay off a college loan that I no longer went to. I'm done with that school now because that loan is paid off. Start attacking Discover loan. So also when I first started, I wasn't attacking all of my loans at one time. I was kind of taking them how they come. So if Discover had a big balance on there, I think I already put it on the screen. Whew. So I paid off. For me, it didn't make sense to pay that one off quick because the interest on it was pretty low. So I paid off the smaller loans with bigger interest first. So I also have my TransUnion request submitted. So you get one free credit score request a year. I will put that down below. I would only check it once a year. Don't check it anymore. It'll put a ding on your credit score. But I was doing that as well. For my example, it's gonna be October 2018. So you can see that I put things color coded right on the side. And then I wrote in the colors when they were due. So payday was dark green, rent was light green, student loans was blue, utilities purple, so on and so forth. And then I had a paycheck budget sheet. So this paycheck budget sheet broke my checks down bi-weekly for me. So I had my full-time job check, and what that brought home, I would break up all of the payments that I have due within that 2-week time frame. There's also a monthly budget sheet on here as well. If you want to break it up by month, like I said, I did it bi-weekly. It just made more sense for me. And then there's this bills due date sheet. This sheet I just had to like put things on paper. I have reminders on my phone for when things are due, but this was just to help me realize, okay, so ADT, like my alarm system is auto pay. Planet Fitness at the time was auto pay. Geico was auto pay. Now I feel really, really good looking at this because I'm like, oh, I paid all this off. And then I would keep any receipts that I needed to keep for that month. So the place that I was living before this apartment, I had to like go and like give them my money. So I would keep all of my receipts there. Ooh, I like this one. So this one, I think I had got like a little promotion or something, but can y'all see all the lines that are like crossed out and moved around? I mean, you gotta play with it. Do what makes sense for you. Don't just go in it and like, this is my plan, this is my goal, and then get mad when it doesn't work, because life happens. And then I also had this monthly status sheet. It gives you 3 goals for the month. How did last month go? And then it gives you 3 goals for the month that you're in. So it looks like I checked off pay off Best Buy credit card. Oh wow, that's really it also says use Best Buy minimum payment for Bank of America credit card. So whenever I paid off a card, whatever the minimum balance was for my old card, I was putting on the new card and then some if I had it. I still ate out and paid off my loans very quickly, so quickly to me, but. And then I had a year in review. I didn't do this a lot. Actually, I didn't do it at all. At this time, I was still living paycheck to paycheck, so that just didn't make sense for me. There's also personal goals in here. At that time, I didn't use it. And then I had at the back like a monthly meal planner. The monthly meal planner makes sense because there's also a grocery list on here and like a weekly meal planner. So I also wanted to show you my vision board for 2020. The traveling didn't happen, but I had like this wealth corner or money corner, and the main thing for me, it says to dig yourself out of debt. I had this card being dug out and this girl with the money signs and wealth. So at the end of 2019, at the beginning of 2020, I got a job that allowed me not to have to work multiple jobs, which also allowed me to then pay off one last card. I think that Discover card, so much faster than I would have on a really, really low income that I was on. So I felt like I needed to share that just to give somebody hope. I know right now it might seem like you're just like, oh my God, I still have this hanging over my head. Give yourself time and grace. I just showed out something from 2018. Some stuff does take time. These get rich quick, pay off stuff quick, that's not everybody's story. That might not be your story. So take off that lens of like trying to do it everybody else's way. Find out what works for you, and trust me, it'll all work out. So after you've like looked at everything, you have looked at the budget sheet, you've put it on paper, but you're not sure how to kind of allocate it, I'm more than happy to be your accountability partner. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I feel like I can like finally help people and that's super exciting, and I'm willing to help, so use me as a resource. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped a bunch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week, girlfriend. Bye.